Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming live at you again. It is Tuesday at about 9:42. Hope everyone's doing good. Pretty normal weather patterns so far the last week. It's been pretty mellow, pretty nice. We're in the middle of winter here, so I think we might be getting some more snow here pretty soon, but we'll see. But I hope everyone's doing good. So, as well, anybody checking out this channel, but I've been knee deep in the Game of Thrones world. It's been a blast, and I have been pretty much watching it. Well, I've been watching it every night, and so it's been killer. It's been awesome. I've said before I was super late to the game, to put it mildly, but really fantastic show. I the biggest I don't know. I think the biggest factor as to why I never really watched the show, or why I've waited for so long, like pretty much at this point, years after it came to a close, is probably just the length of how long the series is. There's I think there's 8 seasons, if I'm right. I think possibly, I believe there's 8 seasons, and so that obviously entails a lot of time, and to a degree, effort. But in realistic terms, like, I watch a movie anyway, pretty much every day. So usually every night I watch a movie in some form or another. So that's basically what I've been doing. Maybe a little bit more because I've been really into the show. So, but it's been fun. I remember years ago it's funny. I was playing a gig, and the guitar player I was playing with, we had gotten done playing, and I think our gig was done on the early side. I think we were done like 8 o'clock, like on 8 o'clock. And it was like a Saturday night, and I remember he was talking about how he was excited to go home, and he was like kind of quickly packing up his equipment because he said he was going to go home and watch. He was in the middle. It was in the middle of the last final season of Game of Thrones, and he had HBO at home, and he was streaming it through that, and he was really excited, and he was actually like in a rush to go home to be there to watch it. So I thought that was funny, and he was a huge fan. But he was, at that time, and this is a few years back, this show, I believe it was the final season. So, and again, that was years ago. So I just finished up. I'm going to Opera House Video tonight to pick up season 4. I just finished season 3 last night, and it was crazy because I got done watching it. I knew I was on the last disc, and then poof, I was like, wait, it's over? What? I couldn't. I was like, it was kind of early. I've been staying up a little bit too late watching the show, but I'm kind of a night person anyway. But I probably should be, getting maybe a little bit more sleep, or going to bed a little bit earlier. But I'm enjoying it. So I, in a second, like the seconds after it ended, I was just like, "What? That's it?" And it was kind of on the early side, and I was like, "Oh my god, I wish I rented more." It's kind of funny how your brain reacts to great movies that you're into, or series for the in this situation. I literally didn't want it to end, but it went really quick. I found that season 3 went really quick. Not that any of the other seasons so far drag, but this one I just ripped right through, and I was like, "Holy mackerel!" There, and I have to say, season 3 is really great. There were moments in season 3 that, especially the last half of the series, that I was shocked, completely shocked. My jaw dropped. I could not believe what I was seeing. Basically, you had a whole slew of these main characters that were all just slaughtered and killed, and I was like, did not see that coming. It was so well done, so gruesome, and such a shock and a surprise. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, where is this going to go? Where did you just took out some of these major central characters in a heartbeat. They're all gone. They all are integral to the story. And I don't want to go into like rich detail or spoilers about the show. I know most people. I'm well very much in the minority, but I know most people have seen the show. But I still don't want to give anything away to a degree. But the one of the things about this show that is so interesting is that characters that you will really love or care about at any second, any turn, they can get killed, and you don't see that too often. You don't see too many things where the central character, where the stakes are so high, but they can actually lose their life. You never really see that too much in a lot of movies. Um, and I love that they take that road. I love that they push the envelope with that, and it's so effective because the writing is so great, the direction is so great. Um, you just you have so much empathy towards these actual characters, and considering that these are huge ensemble casts and how I've continually find myself caring about everyone on the screen. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. And I have to say again, there's so many great characters. They're so rich. They're so well developed. But I have to say, my two favorite characters that I am absolutely enamored with, and I am totally in love with, and when they're not in the story, at when they're not in that particular in the scene, I am to a degree chomping at the bit to see them again, and that is Jamie Lannister, who was played by Nikolai Coster-Waldau. His character and the amazing relationship that he has with Brienne of Tarth, played by Gwendoline Christie. Their two characters are, I think, I have to say, they are my two favorite characters in the entire story. They have this, I think, the most amazing arc that I've seen in a movie or a television show in years. I can't really think of any characters, off the top of my head that have had that or that strike that kind of resonance with me. I don't know what it is, and the I think the the arc that they both go through, their journey that they go through, is so absolutely incredible, and the transition of where their characters go is just amazing. I can't really think of other characters that have had that level of brilliance to them, and I just think they're amazing, and they also bring a certain comedy or comedic relief to the series, because the series is it's very very dark, obviously, and it's brutal, and it's essentially about corruption, and so these two characters bring such at times bring such a great comedic relief to the whole to this whole world. But they're just so well written, so fleshed out, and I feel like there's this amazingly deep connection between the two of them, and I can't wait to see what happens to them, where else their characters might go. Just I'm enamored with them. I almost was thinking while I was watching their two characters again last night, I'm like, I could see a show. I would watch a show or a movie if it was just the two of them playing these characters, going on some kind of adventure or some kind of journey, or even if it was a straight up like melodrama, I would be into watching it. The chemistry that they have is unlike anything I've seen in recent time, and just the depth that both characters have is just so awesome and amazing. So it's great. And again, I think season three might. I have to say, season two is definitely my favorite season so far. I think that season is just um, a fucking knock out of the park. It's so amazing, so satisfying. It's got everything, and probably the biggest thing around it is the introduction of the magic element to and the whole fantasy horror element that is introduced to season two. I That's probably why. But the stakes are so high. The battle scenes are just incredible. But that being said, first season I think is a masterpiece, and I really really like the third season because it is there are a series of events in the third season that I was shocked. And I was like literally I was watching it last night, season 3. And this series of events happened like I'm talking about, and I was just like, "Oh my fucking god, what just happened?" I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Fuck me." And I got up. I like picked myself up out of the couch a little bit. Couldn't believe it. And I ended up going back and watching it again. That's how powerful it was. Amazing. So very much looking forward to this whole series. I did have a friend, which I kind of wish he didn't say anything. I have heard about this whole thing from other people. It's not necessarily a spoiler event, but I've heard some people say they really loved it and they thought it was awesome, and then some people said that it was just terrible and it almost killed the series for them, or it pretty much did. But I've heard from some people, and including my friend, which I wish he didn't say, but that the that I will eventually be grossly disappointed with the series, and that it will get into some territory, especially the last season, that I will end up like basically not liking this series, or it will really bother me, and it will be a really terrible conclusion. And I was just like, dude, please don't say that. I don't want to have anything on my head about that. And I realized that I've heard in passing, because this show is so popular, I've heard in passing that is the case, or for some people. And I've also had people say that, it's amazing. So probably more, I have to say, from what I've gathered, it's probably more negative than positive. But so far, I'm totally blown away by the show, and it's wonderful. So stay tuned. I'm going to be starting season 4 tonight. So stay tuned for a review after that is concluded. And in between reviews for Game of Thrones, obviously, in the series, I am, going to be doing still my reviews for other films, because I won't be able to do a video every day, obviously, on Game of Thrones. So thank you again for your support, and we will see you next time. Peace.